In most cases, massive amounts of data are stored in databases, mainly relying on the characteristics of databases such as data structuring, data sharing, and independence. Pandas supports reading and writing operations on mainstream databases such as MySQL, Oracle, and SQLite. Now, let's learn about database read and write operations in Pandas. First, to efficiently read data from a database, we need to introduce SquawkMe. The SQL Toolkit and Object Relational Mapping ORM tool it provides enable efficient database access. Note that when using SQL libraries, corresponding connection toolkits are required to establish database connections. The Pandas IOSQL module provides common functions for reading and writing databases. Let's look at the related read and write methods. ReadSQL table. Convert the data from an entire data table into a data frame object. ReadSQL query. Convert the result returned by an SQL query into a data frame object. For example, if you execute a query that returns multiple rows and columns, it will convert those rows and columns into a data frame. ReadSQA. A combination of the previous two methods. It can read both entire tables and data returned by SQL statements. ToolSQL writes data into a database. Note, when connecting to a MySQL database, the MySQL connector driver is required. If the module is not available in the current Python environment, install it using the command pip install MySQL connector Python. If you are using the Anaconda environment, install it via conda with the command conda install MySQL connector Python. We can check if the driver is installed using the command import MySQL connector installing the module. We can perform basic read and write operations using MySQL-related read-write methods. The first method is ReadSQL, which can both read an entire data table and execute SQL statements. SQL parameter. Specify the SQL statement to be executed. Parameter. Accept a database connection, representing connection information. Columns parameter. Specify the exact columns to read. Note the syntax format for creating a database connection. The connection is created via the create_engine function with a specified format. Database ctype plus driver name, username, password host, portee database cname. For example, to read from MySQL using the following format: MySQL plus MySQL connector, root 123,456, y localhost 3,306, 5 big data. Next, let's look at the toSQL method. This method writes series or data frame objects into a database as a data table. Name parameter, specify the name of the database table. Parameter, show database connection information. If exists parameter, take the values fail, replace, or append. The default is fail, meaning that if the table already exists, the operation will fail. If set to replace, it will drop the table first, then recreate it, and then insert the data. If set to append, it will directly append the data to the existing table. Now let's see their practical application in code. First, let's examine the data in the MySQL database we will operate on. Start the MySQL service, MySQL uroot, P123,456. After startup, view all databases using Show Databases. Here we have a database called Info. Enter the info database via Use Info and check the tables inside. We see a table named Person Info. Then we query with an SQL statement. Select asterisk from Person Info. Now we will read all data from the Person Info table. Let's begin coding. First, import the package. From Squelchemy, import Creator Engine. Create a database connection using Creator Engine. Engine equals Creator Engine. MySQL plus MySQL connector. A root. MySQL 127.0.0.1. 3306.4. Read data using ReadWrite. The result is as follows. Next, we create sample data using a data frame. We inspect the data using df. As before, create a connection via Creator Engine. Write the data using to iSQL. Check the tables in the terminal. Show tables. The new table now appears. Query the new table and the data is displayed correctly. Today we have learned how Pandas can store and read data from databases. We have reached a new level in reading structured data, adding a new method for data processing. We hope you can master using Pandas for database storage and retrieval, as it will be very useful for your future studies and work.